All right. Hi, everybody. If we don't know each other, my name is John McMillan. I'm an assistant professor with the Department of Music and the Faculty of Fine Arts here at MacEwan. And I'm also a member of the Bent River Records faculty team. And if you don't know what Bent River Records is, it is our in-house record label. It's really amazing. I think probably one of the better things we do here. It involves music faculty, design faculty, arts and cultural management faculty, and students from all of those areas. We've also had faculty from the business department. We have an associate dean on the committee as well. It's very cool. We record and create 3 to 6 albums a year. And one of the other endeavors we do is this. And this is the Bent River Records songwriting competition. For some context, a couple of years ago when I took over songwriting in this building, I decided rather than standing up in front of my class and talking about what it's like getting your songs put into a film, I said, well, I know some filmmakers, and so I invited these two gentlemen to come. And I'm really pleased that they decided to come back and share their insights and talents with us again. They are involved in a production company called Catapult Pictures. And in my time as a film composer, I don't think I've ever worked with a company as creative or consequential. We have done crazy things. We've recorded full orchestras. We did a free jazz 3.5-minute art film where Danny was attacked by mounds of flesh monster type things.
Which is available on Shudder right now.
Yeah, it's on Shudder. Fred's partner, Rebecca, her film, The Secret Society, is, as we speak, in the hands of the Canadian Senate and influencing legislation in the world of reproductive health and egg donation. They're amazing artists, and they're right here in Edmonton, and I'm just so pleased that they're here. This is Frederick Croce and Daniel Hinnett. I'll turn it over to them.
So meeting John was a very big thing in our lives. Like he said, we've done numerous projects, and we're always trying to do wacky, innovative things. And this is our first TV show that we own. Usually when we make TV shows, we have to license them to a big production company in Vancouver or Toronto or something. This is the first time we own our own show, and it's kind of a big deal because it's a real broadcast TV show, and there aren't many of these. And recently we were nominated for the most Ampia Awards in Alberta for this show, Crip. So it clearly is being looked upon favorably by our colleagues in the industry. And we literally just wrapped up filming season 2, on Friday or Saturday. We got back from a 6-week road trip. And we'll get into that in a little bit. But it was really interesting when John said, why don't you come work? You always work with me as your composer. Why don't we get students involved? And we're like, that sounds great. Not only is this cost effective, but it opens us up to a huge resource pool. And the songs that we got, all of them were so good, we used all of them. We were looking for one song, and which we got, and we're gonna really use the heck out of it in Vegas. But all 8 or 10 songs that we got, we used every single one, and they were all great. And we were like, this is the craziest resource we've ever heard of. So obviously we wanted to come back and make it even bigger this year, and just to see how many songs we could get. And season 2 is a little different than season 1. Season 1 was punk rock, whereas this one has sort of different themes in the different episodes. But first off, why don't I tell you what Crip Trip is? This is my buddy Danny, and we've been working together for, probably 12 years now. We used to make a lot of inspiration porn, which is where Danny would go skydiving and inspiring music would play. And we hated ourselves for it. We felt dirty, And still feel dirty. But we tried to make non-inspiring stuff, and our broadcasters wouldn't let us.
There wasn't much appetite for, disabled narratives with nuance
it as your propagandized agenda. I'm like, that's not the best sell. No, it's an entertaining TV show. But yeah, so basically, we got together, we came up with this idea, and we won the Telefilm Talent to watch, and it was going to be a feature-length documentary, and we were super stoked. And then at the last minute, AMI, Canada's national disability broadcaster, turned it into a TV show. We had to give Telefilm the money back, which was awful. It was awful. Spent 10 years trying to get that money. And then it became a TV show, and so we hit the road, and basically the show is a road trip with the two of us, and I'm kind of a dumbass. I'm not much of a caregiver, and I become Danny's 24-hour-a-day caregiver, and we go on really crazy adventures, and along the way we meet with other disabled people working at a high level in the cultural industries, and it gets angry, it gets really funny and silly, and I think what we do best is dark humor. So it's a show that's very funny, but also makes you kind of go like, wait, what? You know, that sort of thing.
And it's about us trying to figure out how to make it work on the road, right?
Yeah, and season 1 was very much about this caregiving relationship, and right before we left on the trip, I'd had a stroke, and my dad died. I was a mess, and we showed how hard caregiving is and why it should be funded more. And in season 2, it's less about that, and it's just more about, we'll get into our journey in season 2. But basically, we traveled, it's 6 one-hour episodes each season, and in season 1, we traveled from Edmonton to New York City. We traveled from Edmonton over through Saskatchewan, Manitoba, down through Chicago, then back up through Toronto, then over to New York. And the theme in season 1 was punk rock. So we brought along a cellular camera. We filmed a bunch of this on like black and white film. We turned the RV that you see here into a mobile photography darkroom where we developed photos, and we had like stop animation graphics in it and stuff. It was like super punk rock. And that was cool, but I also felt like it was just very one note for 6 episodes, all being punk rock. And so for season 2, we traveled from Edmonton over to Vancouver, down to Seattle, Portland, San Francisco, and then over to Vegas. And we traveled through many different geographic regions, and we kind of want each episode to have a different tone or feel. I'll let you talk about that a bit.
Yeah, so one of the very useful things that we learned from the first round of doing this is kind of attributing an aesthetic to a region. So the song that we ended up going with for season 1 was American Dream by, what's her band name, John?
Blood Pressure.
Blood Pressure,
Thanks,
yes.
Rudy.
Thank you. And you know, we had created a Spotify playlist. I have another one here today, and we're just gonna run through some like aesthetics that are useful to us as filmmakers. The heart of the trip is very much a road trip. It's a lot of van driving. So to punctuate that and make it interesting, we have much more variance in the environments we were in this season than last season. A lot of prairie last season, you know, a lot of driving at night where we didn't get much usable footage. So it was very tonally one note.
But it worked great. The punk rock aesthetic worked great.
Absolutely. And one note I got for our showrunner this time around was to keep with the kind of punk driving bass lines. High energy stuff has more utility to him in the editing room than your lower key songs. And yeah, so focusing on the geographic regions, we went from Edmonton to Vancouver, and then down to Seattle.
So like episode 1, I think, will be Edmonton. Episode 2 is basically Rocky Mountains. Episode 3 is Vancouver. Episode 4 is stranded in White Rock for 5 days / San Francisco. 5 is like desert, and 6 is Vegas.
Yeah.
So that's just going to give you an idea of where the episode. This might change a little bit as we're in post-production, but that just gives you a general idea of these different areas and the different tones that might go with those spaces.
Yes.
So, you know, to make this, to simplify this, I'll show you guys the trailer from season 1, and it'll give you a very good idea what the show is. And then for the first time ever, you guys will see some footage of season 2 that our camera guy edited together just for the heck of it. And so you'll see a few moments and get an idea for what season 2 is all about. But again, the great thing about this is normally we're doing sound libraries, we're doing canned music off of Artlist or APM or something. and this stuff gets very tedious.
Generic and
Generic.
And then you start watching multiple documentaries and hearing the same song over and over.
Yeah.
You know, pizzicato strings over the comedic moments where they're trying to punctuate. And it gets very samey in one note. And this experience with John and the class and commissioning this music is one of the few times in film that it, like a relationship feels very mutualistic. Students get a chance to score a film, build stems, which is a very marketable talent in film especially. And we get unique music curated and created for the specific tonality we're looking for, which is an extraordinary privilege. This is one of the things that I'm most excited to do every time we get a new season greenlit.
You're a music slut.
Yeah.
So it's just so great to not have to be dealing with just libraries where you just search for emotive terms. And also, a lot of the music that you guys create, we might have a great song, but we might only use that song for 15, 20 seconds, but then we might use versions of it with the vocals stripped out or a different sort of string of it underneath various other parts in the episode, and a leitmotif, I don't know, something like that. So these things, the songs become multi-purpose to us in a variety of ways, because we want to stay away from as much canned music as we can. And I think in season 1 we use all sorts of things in all sorts of different ways. But without further ado, I'll show the trailer from season 1.
So that's the RV. That's the RV from season 1, and it broke down 9 times. And in season 2 starts with us crushing it. We got a van. Yeah. That's the van right there. Look at that beautiful decal on the side. It's a Valkyrie with a lightning bolt in a wheelchair, popping a wheelie.
Back in the RV, let's go. Okay, we're doing it! It's good to finally be on the road. Thought this day would never come. My name is Daniel Ennett. I've been making films, TV shows, and art for the last 10 years with my best friend and collaborator, Frederick Crouch.
I'm worried about you. I've been worried for a while about you winding up in long-term care.
As a quadruple amputee, the minute my mom is no longer able to supplement my care at all, they will then try and put me in an institution.
If I can get you more work, that might stave off the looming threat of this institutionalization. I think we should get in an RV and drive across the continent.
Hold on.
The engine's acting funny. Right now we're totally screwed. I think we stop in like Chicago, Toronto, and New York City. That's where like TV jobs are.
We meet other disabled people struggling with long-term care.
Why are we making a photo shoot there in a junkyard? Here's the big question. How do you feel about your friend Frederick being a caregiver?
I'm getting the chance to do a bunch of stuff that I've never done before.
Our next comic is Daniel Ennett.
I'm from Canada, this is just how we all look.
Check it out, photography exhibit. The keys are in the kitchen, and all the doors are locked. Danny's in there. Jesus Christ. Come on, dude. Ah, he did it! He did it! Uh-oh, criminal lead.
Dude, you fell over! Best isn't gonna do this.
We're going downtown. Let's go.
I'm gonna get you to take my pants and underwear off.
I had no idea caregiving was so demanding. I had no idea.
So I'm losing my mind. I need a break. What did you think you were getting into when we signed up on this?
I thought that you would just have a lot more autonomy.
I've had other care workers, come to it with better mindset.
I think I can manage that for like 8 hours, and then it becomes a burden.
Burden, interesting choice of words.
It's a weight on me.
You care a lot and you love a lot, and I think that is your key.
We did great, man.
This all started with such a simple idea. Where are we? What city is this? Keeping my best friend out of long-term care. But now it's grown into something bigger.
Frank, get straight. Dignity for disability. I'm gonna protect you. Still got rations for the bunker. This is gonna be one hell of a ride. Crip.
Fine, go that way, you malfunctioning, nearsighted pile of scrap. I'm going this way. Accountable Pictures production. Produced in association
So an
with
interesting
AMR.
thing,
TV.
you might have noticed when there were certain actions in there, you'd hear me say, "You fell over!" These types of things. What makes Crip Trip rather unique is that it has integrated descriptive video. It takes months of painstaking effort in post-production, and we kind of hate it. But the idea is that any partially sighted or blind audience can watch or listen to this show and understand everything that's happening. And so AMI has a series of IDV experts that we work with to fully craft the show that blind or partially sighted people can experience this. So it's kind of a new thing. CBC just started getting into it, but our show will be like fully accessible to people that normally wouldn't be able to enjoy this type of content. So that's another interesting aspect to the show. We also use a lot of sound effects and sound design to create that. Now to give you a little feel for season 2, I'll just show you guys some just like sort of raw footage from season 2 that our camera guy played with. So this is not proper editing in any way. This is just our camera guy. But here's just some stuff.
Move, brother, don't move. I condemn you, Frederick Croach.
What happened? Another one. Let's do it.
Was that perfectly dead center, Dylan?
That was perfectly dead center. That was dope. I was looking right.
So one of our biggest storylines is Danny becoming an archer throughout the show.
Face. Are you ready?
That's Gary the puppet. He's also a character in season 2.
Let's go! Let's go! Oh, Willie kill Fred. Willie kill Fred. No, I'm the crippled Robin Hood. Fuck you for not believing me. Fuck you, Gary.
I don't think I have that accuracy. I definitely don't. I'm like within a foot, you know?
Ready?
Yeah. Your ass is taking up, honestly, 75% of the seat.
Yeah,
Okay, helmet.
So Danny is a huge fan of race cars, and earlier in the season, he schools everybody playing a race car video game, so we go out for reels from this.
I know he'll drive like a grandma, so if I get someone else to jump in after.
Wow. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna pin this thing, okay? That's what you want, that's what you get. Are you not scared I'm gonna kill you?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
You think I'm so much of a princess?
Fast forward through this. Our camera guy is
Coming
not
over here, try it.
Yeah. Clearly ready to go here. Oh, there's Danny on a canoe. That was fucked up. Wasn't expecting that. Oh, this is funny. This is funny. This is where I almost killed Danny. I'm such a dumbass. Oh my god. And that was somewhere in Barstow, just outside the desert.
What was the goal?
And this is from our live show, and this is where Danny wants to hit an apple off my head, and I'm not allowed to wear like face protection. So that gives you guys a bit of an idea of what we're dealing with here.
obviously a lot of those clips are very like Jackass kind of stuff, and there's a lot of those elements. But a lot of the show is also very serious, where we sit down with sexual surrogacy organizations and have these very serious talks. So there's a lot of things going on. But basically, when it comes to like tone and genre and style for season 2, season 1, punk rock, 70s, celluloid, that analog aesthetic. Now the aesthetic for season 2 is like 90s analog video. So the shtick that we did in season 2 is we have to produce a live late night talk show where Danny's the host and I'm like his Andy Richter to his Conan. And we bought all broadcast TV professional gear from the 90s, with giant cameras and switchers and stuff. And we brought it with us and we produced a live show as we went along. And so it's this idea of like giant 3/4 inch video cassettes being popped in and the sound of tapes rewinding, the feel of analog, not digital noise, but analog noise. So some of you might be too young for that era, but I certainly grew up in it. And it's, you know, high 8 cameras, VHS, all that kind of stuff. That's part of the aesthetic that will be throughout the show, whether it's being used as transition elements, these sound effects, having a flashback and rewinding the tape. These types of things will like really be prevalent throughout the show. So there's a certain like time period there that can be played with, this 90s nostalgia a little bit.
Yeah, and we're definitely thinking of that when we're going through, you know, Seattle and down through Vancouver and into White Rock, like very grunge. You know, your Nirvana, your Mudhoney, your Soundgarden. That's what was playing in my head.
That's what we were playing in a van the whole time.
Yeah. But yeah, like a lot of coastal regions too. We have a lot of beach days and pseudo beach days. So, you know, thinking of beach rock.
Well, we go surfing in California and Danny actually catches waves. A group of like 100 people started watching and came and started cheering. Again, we were like, are we making inspiration porn? What's going on? But Danny legit surfed. So that whole SoCal, or I guess Northern California kind of thing, will need music that has a surf rock tone to it.
Yeah, and you know, there's a lot of it. Fiddler, Catamaran by the Outlaws, you know, tons of surf-oriented, chill rock vibes. Love it.
And then from there, we go right across the mountains and the deserts, and we shot a whole bunch of wacky stuff in the desert. And then what are you feeling for the desert?
So, you know, I have a couple touchstones as far as like SoCal desert rock goes, you know, your Queens of the Stone Age, Cuse, even like Swedish rock, truck fighters, you know, you're kind of driving.
Does everybody know what he's saying? Everybody's not, okay, wow, I'm the idiot, okay, whatever.
I love this. I love this so much. Yeah, and you know, when we were in Vancouver, I went to a punk show. It was the Circle Jerks and the Adolescents, who are a bunch of like, you know, older punk rockers who are still just bumming around the West Coast, absolutely killing it. So it was a good show to go see.
By the way, while he was doing that, I was hanging out with Sean Rogerson, the main actor from Grave Encounters. Anybody?
Hands.
Fuck, okay, I'm in the wrong, okay, whatever.
Yeah, so, you know, maintaining that punk core, our showrunner Dylan, who, you know, makes a lot of the decisions as far as final tonality for scene goes, said he gets a lot of utility from the higher energy songs. So that's something to keep in mind. We definitely like something with progression, and I think there's a lot of opportunity in that kind of SoCal desert rock vibe to get that kind of transition going.
So what are you feeling for like the Rockies and Vancouver? What kind of tone? And so we have a fight. Oh man, do we have a fight? Holy fuck.
Is this in?
We go golfing. On like a 9-hole, an expensive golf course, and that's both our first time. And let's just say I accidentally drop Danny, and he gets mad and yells at me. Maybe a golf cart chase ensues, and we almost get kicked off the course. But like, there's things like this that are so high drama that will need intense beats coming down for that sort of thing. And then we wind up at like a party in Revelstoke.
Yes.
And
So why don't we do this? Let's pull up the Spotify playlist. Yeah, we're trying to keep it diverse and give you guys some options. So one of the things, if you feel like going an EDM route for whatever reason, we partied with Gary and Revelstoke in a arts festival that we randomly stumbled into. We like disabled guy getting out of a van with a Valkyrie and a puppet, and we were like the least weird people at this festival.
Everybody in Revelstoke wanted to race Danny. So how many races did you have with people like on scooters and things?
A lot of drunk e-scooter races we had on that day. But what we also did that day was go out to the clubs with Gary the puppet, and we have like these just wild scenes of us dancing with Gary the puppet in a club. So because music licensing is such a pain in the ass in this industry, if you're wanting to go an EDM route, I think we have a scene we can do.
Probably a few scenes.
And Fred's on a big techno kick recently. 90s techno.
I've been listening to classic trance. It's weird.
Yeah, I'm a French techno guy, so that's where my tastes lie.
So if you want to look behind you, Danny, there's the list.
Yeah. John, do you want to help move this mic for me a little bit?
Yep.
All right, perfect. So we were lucky enough during our live shows to meet with Wheelchair Sports Camp during our Vegas live show. And that's Caitlin Heffernan and Greg Jemba. Yeah, she's a famous disabled rapper. Play Hard Out Here for Gimp, which is one of the songs. Sure, yeah. So we were having a lot of fun with David Barron using a classical switcher.
So you can see this is like the live show's classic Conan. And John did the music. It's great.
So you want to skip
Knows where we're headed. My wish is on you, every shooting star I see's got me wondering, is this meant to be or what's true?
That gives you great ideas stylistically. Circle iris whites with basic colors, like that's the vibe.
So we can't be that bad. Yeah,
cinematography.
we can't be that bad. Yes, I'm a mess. Yes, I'm the class. Yes, I'm the jet, but I gotta defend. So we can't be that bad. Yeah, we can't be that bad.
So you'll see that Kaylin's wearing the Alternative Tentacles record label t-shirt, and that was started by a member of the Dead Kennedys, who they're pretty close with. And she gave me merch that was designed by the same person who designed their kind of canonical DK logo. And I was like, this is sick as hell. Yeah, so John will put this playlist up somewhere. It's called Daniel's Guide to Asking the Government Nicely for Policy Change. So there's a lot of protest music in here. This is a road trip playlist I compiled for the first season of Crip when we were going down to New York. But when I was sitting down to make a playlist for you guys today, I kept coming back to some of the same touchstones because, as Joan and I were discussing earlier, Crip's kind of visual identity is a little bit more concrete this time around. We got some shaky.
Personally, I'm not against like 90s synthie kind of stuff. I think there's a place for some of that in here. Some cheesy moments, synth with some sort of bass, cheese, that kind of thing. So.
Descriptive. But yeah, leaning into 90s aesthetics, grunge was a big touchstone when we were in the West Coast. We have moments for, some use of EDM if the mood strikes you. John, did you want to talk about the competition rules and kind of the submission guidelines and that kind of thing?
Yeah, I can do that. Sure.
So you'll make this playlist available, Danny, to everybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so what, just like Danny just said, we'll make sure that this Spotify playlist is on the sign-up sheet. Has everybody seen the sign-up sheet? There's a QR code. If you haven't seen it, there's a poster right there. You can scan the QR code, get to the sign-up sheet, and there's another one outside. And it came out in the email as well. We'll make sure this is on there. In terms of submission, you should be aware that when you submit a song for a film or a television show or really anything, it should be as close to perfect as possible. It should be broadcast ready. And the reason why is there's going to be lots of you, and you want to sell your product. That's really it, okay? So the broadcast standard for file formats, and this is on the submission form, is 48 kilohertz at 24-bit. That's the sample rate. Only send WAV files, please, okay? And yeah, the submission is due on January 9th. I would think that we'll have results pretty soon after that. And then there'll be like another set of delivery instructions from there that we'll go through, but that's a long way away. Yeah,
Do you want us to stem them out before we send it in as well?
good question. So this was do I want you to stem them out? No. Just send the stereo mix for now. But you will, if you are successful, you'll have to do some stemming. Does everybody know what stemming is? Yeah, it's just a breakout, right? And there'll be specific instructions on what we want you to break out, okay? Yeah, Brody, I think. You had a question? No, you're just putting your hand up. Just stretching for the sky. Yeah.
Is there a way we want to like divide up, like, because they probably don't want everyone to give them the same sort of grunge, like, is there?
So this is something interesting that happened the last time was, we compiled the Spotify playlist, we put them up there. And every group that submitted a song was listening to a different aspect of what we asked for. So they all gave us what we asked for in a different way. And it was all extraordinarily unique and interesting.
Yeah, if I could just put on like my teacher hat for a sec. This presentation, okay, you need to kind of look between the lines a little bit as well, okay? Like there's all these genres, okay? Can anybody list for me? I'm not going to actually ask you, but in your mind you should have a list of those locations going through your head and like what that sounds like. Alberta prairies maybe is a little bit cliche, but maybe you want to go like folk country in that range.
There is value when we suddenly find that song that has a country twang and we're like, that's the song we needed. You never know.
Things like that. You should have those locations going through your head. And then as a commercialized composer or songwriter, okay, if it were me, I would be trying to balance my objective of doing something different that makes me stand out and doing something that is really catchy and that is really, and I mean really catchy, that everybody just wants to listen to all the time. Yeah? That's kind of the balance. And then from there, when you're writing, this is what's called a brief. Okay, we're writing to a brief. And as songwriters, it's pretty rare that we get this kind of information. Okay? You have to, again, look between the lines and approach it empathetically. Okay? Like, we're talking about Danny's story in this show, and I really want you to try to imagine what it's like to be Danny, where the government wants to institutionalize this guy. But he is not somebody who should be institutionalized. I don't even think of you as disabled, my friend. The first time I met Danny, okay, he whipped out a camera from somewhere. I don't know how or where, but it was this huge camera. He whipped it out and started taking pictures with his chin and his shoulder. And there are far better pictures than I could ever take. Some of you saw me setting this thing up, and it was really bad, And, he's like a director for CBC and making his own content. You don't get to be those people without being like a high achiever, So for me, when I approach this, scoring this, I'm mad. And, but then, you know, there's moments of where we analyze and sort of wrap ourselves around that anger with humor and with some tenderness. And so I think you sort of have to decide where you want to speak within that range. Yeah? Any questions about this? Yeah?
What are the rules in terms of like when we wrote that stuff? Like, can we use stuff that we've like been working on writing before now, or like, or even close to completion?
We did not specify like when these things had to be written. I think the intention of the competition is to get you to write a new thing and to get you to collaborate with the people that maybe you haven't collaborated with before. Each person is allowed to submit up to 2. I would encourage you to submit 2 and collaborate with 2 different groups of people. Maybe you want to do one yourself and maybe you want to collaborate with another group. But yeah, use this opportunity, my friends. You know, as students, you get the chance to take risks, and this allows you to take a risk and potentially get paid for it, and have your music played across the country. Yeah.
How long should these songs be? Like,
Very good question. Really good length for television is around 3 minutes. Okay, a really good length for that. Another thing to think about is how useful the song is. So if you're writing a piece and you think it's sort of like a niche song that's only good for one spot, that's not as economically viable for these people as if you write a song that is good in multiple spots. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah, so 3 minutes is a really good range. 2.5 to 3.5 is probably good, but 3 minutes is like no money. Yeah.
Because they're talking about like the editors might only use chunks. What if you submitted like a 5-minute song that had like sort of progressions so they could use it as multiple
And that's one of the reasons why American Dream was so useful, right? It had quite a progression. It was a little longer, but it did have, you know, defining moments that we found a lot of utility in.
But that one resonated with me like crazy because we had mentioned Fear and Loathing as like, you know, the gonzo journalism as an inspiring force in this, and they really took that to heart and captured that feeling.
Yeah, I would say use your judgment, you know. But yeah, if you can find a way to give this show multiple uses in one piece of music, I'd say you're doing well, because then you know it'll get placed in multiple spots, and you will get royalties in more than one spot, right? It might be like 10 cents, it might be $10, it might be 10,000, but you never know. You'll get royalties.
We really need music for the Vegas episode. It's like the whole last episode, and we go to extreme lengths to get like a live studio audience. And so like there's a number of directions it can go from the classic Vegas, you know, big band lounge crooners to Hunter S. Thompson 60s, 70s music. You know, there's a whole range of things that I don't know where it's at, but one of your songs might like inspire us and change the edit. You know.
Yeah, all this to say, follow your gut. Make something that you want to make. We have a lot of tonalities going throughout here, and I find people make the most interesting work when they start with something they were itching to make anyway, right? We're giving you a very kind of like vague scaffolding, you know, at the heart of this trip. It's a buddy road trip. There's a lot of driving. There's a lot of aesthetics. You know, if you want to do some crooning acoustic stuff, we have mountain shots that we could use that in, right? You know, desert rock, extremely useful. We drive through the desert a whole lot.
If it's helpful too, I can play some of the score that's already composed for this. And like part of that, which is actually kind of odd for my career as a film composer, I had to write some songs for this. And like to give you an idea of the variety, you know, like one of them was sort of like 90s pop. You know, it's actually
Can I show this?
Dylan.
Is that our area?
Can I show this? I've got it queued up. They can hear it.
Yeah, sure.
You just knocked it out of the park with this one, man. This.
Oh yeah.
I want to give you an idea of how weird our show gets, okay? I'm sorry if you're about to watch this.
So that track actually had a fantastic vocal back.
Actually, yeah, there's a version with my wife singing lyrics on it, and yeah, it was fun.
I got a few little things to show. I mean, just because these are great. Do we have time?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll show you guys one more. An example of what we did in the desert.
As part of the live shows, we had to come up with pre-tapes. So we had something to cut to, so we could move the set around and transition to our next guest and stuff like that. So we made a bunch of dumb videos on the right in this one.
In the year 3033, the world has become a desert landscape, ravaged by injustice.
Hey, lady. Nice wheelchair. Careful you don't get a speeding ticket in that thing.
Crip vent, open.
Yes, Daniel.
Crip ramp, lowered.
Ramp lowering.
One man, armed with his adaptable bow and arrow, has the courage to stand up to intolerance.
Hey man, where'd your lose go? What happened?
Oh, he shot me in the chest! Oh, I'm more than my origin story. And put an end to patronizing microaggression.
Oh, hi. I'm gonna pray for you.
Oh, you hit my neck! You are so inspiring. Look at you. Wow, you're outside.
You inspire me to violence. He is Daniel Ennett, social justice warrior. Words have power, but so do I.
So yeah, it's just ridiculous.
So I have this Spotify playlist, but it feels vaguely masturbatory to just run people through a list of my music taste. Really what this list is how to pander to my taste as it stands right now. Yeah, we got good road trip music, Cisco Kid, 70s, funk, love it. Play a bit of that, Fred.
Which one?
The Cisco Kid, Fourth Down. There you go.
What's that mean?
That you did not sign into Spotify.
Sorry.
Anyway, yeah, you got some Fugazi. Scroll down a bit. Show it to Kneecap.
John, is there any parts of season 1 you want to show? I have all the episodes here. Is there a part you can think of that would give you an example of?
I think the trailer was enough.
Okay. And like, if anyone wants to get inspired, the episodes are all free on AMI Plus. So just type in Crip, and you can watch all the episodes for free. So check one out, and you'll get an idea. Because like, pretty much all the music is like custom made, right? Like everything. So that's pretty incredible. All the shows like this in the factual and lifestyle world I've worked on have been like 90% library, and then they usually get 10% custom. So we're doing something a little different, I think.
Music is very much an afterthought, especially in the docuseries world.
Yeah, for those who don't know, library music refers to basically like a website that you can pay a membership to and download music. And it's the problem with it is it's just kind of the same stuff over and over. Like you've probably heard the same piece of music in 50 commercials, and you just kind of get desensitized to it. We kind of like to avoid that and this kind of thing. Yeah, question?
So I have two. For the first one, in terms of your angry music, how do you feel about screamo?
I love screamo. I love screamo.
Sorry, what is screamo?
You'll find out, Fred.
And then, for your like desert and like surfy vibes, like are you thinking Sublime? Like is that?
Yeah, that's a good touchstone. Maybe Fiddler is a band that stands out there. Very like degen, like Australian bands, the Shats, Smoko, just like pure degen.
So far, the score that we've done for like the surf rock stuff is actually just 50s rock, like that kind of stuff, right? And so I mean, I think there's a lot of opportunity for a lot of variety, right? Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah.
Does the brief have like kind of the regions?
No.
Okay.
This is what the brief was.
Okay.
Them speaking. Yeah.
So we went from Edmonton to Seattle.
So episode 1 all takes place in Edmonton. Episode 2 is Edmonton to Vancouver. Episode 3 is Vancouver. Episode 4 is we're stranded in White Rock for a week, trying to get over the border, and then we quickly drive through Seattle, Portland, and San Francisco. Episode 5 is leaving San Francisco through the desert, and then episode 6 is all in Vegas. So definitely the Vegas episode is the big episode, and we need to really creatively approach that one with some cool Vegas music, but I don't know exactly what that means yet.
We're also in limbo in White Rock, like it's a very kind of strange liminal space to be in because we're just waiting 4 days to cross the border. Beautiful seaside town, but like you still feel like you're trapped because you're just waiting to cross the border.
I got so
It's a very
bored.
strange place to be.
I got soul patch extensions. I got my soul patch extended. Yeah.
He went to an eyelash place and they were like breaking down individual eyelash extensions to extend his soul patch.
It worked.
It was pathetic.
So
Very sad.
Looked great.
something useful for you maybe. We really haven't tackled the sound of the Rocky Mountains yet. We really haven't tackled the sound of the desert yet. I think the song from last season, American Dream, which I think Blood Pressure released on Spotify, is probably the closest thing we have to the sound of the desert right now. Vegas, I'm writing right now, not right now, but when I go home, and, soon, I'll be writing basically like Ocean's 11 music. Okay, so if you're familiar with that, there's a big variety.
For the Rockies, there's also like we go over a big suspension bridge, and it gets kind of scary when it starts shaking and also knocks you over. So there's like moments of epic grandeur in the mountains, mixed with some like fear. So there's some of this stuff. The go-kart racing, that's like high octane kind of stuff.
And yeah, the mountains, we were coming off one really bunk live show. I love the first live show, but our broadcaster didn't. And yeah, like we were kind of riding in anxiety. We were driving through the mountains. It was kind of misty and wet. So there's like a very kind of uncertain aesthetic happening when we're driving through the Rockies.
There's a lot of scenes of us preparing for these live shows and then like putting the gear together and setting up, I feel like that can have a little bit of this 90s late night talk show feel to it somewhere with a lot of stress-inducing music. We need a lot of that.
The puppet Gary, his character was a Canadian roadie, right? So he was a big fan of the band, the
Skydiggers.
And yeah, Dylan was workshopping us on early Canadiana, the whole track.
Dylan had me write a marching band song for Gary. Is a first in my life. Any other questions? We should probably wrap this up. Yeah, we're at the hour mark. Any last questions? No last questions?
I'll let John put my email up. You guys can harangue me.
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
Yeah, over here.
So, for the song, if we were to put lyrics in them, what's the rule on profanity?
Go for it, dude.
I'll just put like a little caveat on, not to disagree with my producer here. Okay, all the songs should have lyrics. Okay, first of all, okay, song versus score, songs have lyrics. Okay. Secondly, you can do profanity like Danny said. The thing about profanity is it limits where you can put it. That's what I would tell you. And so, if you are a business person, I would say that there's another way maybe to say that word. But sometimes it works for the aesthetic of the show, and it does in this case. But it does limit where you can place your music for sure.
Our show's at 9 p.m. Eastern time, so we're in a slot that allows swearing. But they are very judicious about it, and we blow hours in post cutting out every time Danny says fuck. It's just I spend hours cutting out every time he says
I'll
it.
spend many more hours this season.
Yeah, so we're allowed to use it, but it has to be purposeful. Like the band broke, fuck, we can use that. But if Danny just says fuck every second word, we have to cut that out. So just think about that.
I'm eloquent. That's
Maybe, yep. And then last one, maybe.
Is there any way we could get a list of what words aren't allowed on TV?
Just basically, if you have the question, is this allowed on TV? Don't do it.
Or use it sparingly.
That's my biggest advice for you, as a guy who's done this a few times. When in doubt, don't do it. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
Can I record a quick Instagram?
Yeah.
While we're here. So I just want to shoot Danny and I saying where we are and what we're doing, and then can I turn the camera around and everybody, I don't know, cheer or something? Kind of fun for Instagram.
This is what a Gen Xer horror farming is.
Yeah. Tell me ours. So I'm gonna have Danny explain where we are and what we're doing, and then when I pan like this, everybody just like fucking give her. Okay. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
We're here at Grant McEwen commissioning Crip Season 2 music with these beautiful individuals.
Can I leave them with one last little piece? Here is a commercial for the Crip catheters. It's 40 seconds long.
Bare-chested on the beach. My yellow scarf fluttering in the breeze. Peaceful serenity. This is what it should feel like to calf. Sleek, slender, single use. The all-new Crip catheters. If you're shelling out almost $2 per stream, you want the best there is. From now on, all your washroom visits will be a day at the beach.
You can see the aesthetic. These like purple, yellow titles and stuff. That's the aesthetic.
Give it up for them one more time.